All right, welcome everybody. Today we're going to start talking about our run, hide, fight training and how we're going to survive an active threat situation. So, this is going to be a new drill that we're adding in this year. Tell me, what are some drills that we already do here at school?
Lockdown drills.
Lockdown.
Tornado drills.
Tornado.
Fire drills.
Fire drills. All right, great. All three of those. So those are the types of drills that we already have. We're just going to be adding one more to our arsenal here. So we're going to have three components for this. The first one is run, hide, and then fight. And we're going to do things in that order. If we were in an active situation, our first goal is to get the heck out of there. Second, we may have to barricade in place and hide. Last resort, we may have to fight the guy. Run. When we have an alarm for an active situation, the first thing you're going to have to do is get quiet and listen. Because as a teacher, I've got to know where this is taking place. And once I know where this is taking place, we can make the determination where is the safest place to go. Because if it turns out it's right here in the classroom behind me, we don't go that direction. And I need to know that. So once that alarm sounds, you gotta shut your mouths, you gotta listen and let the teacher do his work. We're gonna find the safest place to be when we have an active event, and really and truly the safest place to be when there's an active on campus is going to be, where do you think?
Off campus.
Off campus. So once we know where the killer is, then we can figure out the best way to get off campus, if that's possible. And that is, of course, our first goal, is to get out of the area. We're going to have planned evacuation routes. They're going to depend on where you are. This is a big campus. We've got a lot of different ways you can go. And it's all going to depend on where the threat is. If we have a threat in the front office, that's going to determine what direction we're going to head out of here. If there's a threat in the gym, we might be doing something different. But the teacher has to be able to hear those instructions and make that determination. Keep your hands visible. Keep in mind that if we have an active situation here, you're going to have law enforcement responding to a live threat. And they need to know who is on their side and who's not. Keep your hands visible so they can tell that you are not armed, and keep moving. Running is always our safest option. If we can get off campus, if we can make it so that we are not in the area of the threat, that's the thing that has to happen. But if we can't, what is our next step?
Hide.
Right, our next step is to hide. Maybe barricade in place if we can. So take a look around the room real quick. What could we do to barricade ourselves into this room in an active situation?
Put a table in front of the door.
Right, we can toss a table in front of the door. What can we do to make that even better?
We could use string or wires from the computers to tie it around the door.
That's right.
It can be pulled out.
Tie it around the doorknob, make it so they can't get that door open. What else could we do?
You could close the blinds to make anybody inside the room not visible.
Close the blinds, there you go.
Also pin tables in front of the windows.
Tables in front of the windows. We could get into the hallway or the planning area there, barricade that in also. We have lots of options, but we have to have those options in our mind and be aware of our surroundings at all times, because when something like this goes down, we don't get to take out a piece of paper and make a plan right then. We got to be ready to go. We're going to make sure the door is locked. All of our classrooms are always locked. So that's step one, is already taken care of. We're going to turn lights out. We're going to put heavy items like the tables that you talked about in front of the doors. We're going to get as far out of view as we possibly can. We've got a hallway, we've got an office area. We're going to make sure that somebody can't peek in and see that they've got targets. Silence all your electronic devices. Get that phone ringer off, get the vibration off. Because if we are in here and hidden, and that vibration goes off and it rattles your keys or something like that, now we're not hidden anymore. So you got to turn that phone all the way off. You got to stay quiet and you got to listen to instructions. And this is going to be a tough part. These are stressful situations. But you got to realize how much is riding on you following the directions of the teacher. Last thing, you don't leave until you get instructions from law enforcement or your teacher on that. If we're in that kind of situation, somebody comes to the door and says, "I'm with the sheriff's office," I'm not going to open the door. I need proof that they are from the sheriff's office. All right? You do not leave the area until you are told to do so by someone who has proven themselves an authority. If hide is our safest option at the time, and then it becomes run, we're going to run because the absolute safest thing to do is get away from the threat. We may be in the process of running and have to duck in somewhere and hide, and then run again when the opportunity presents itself. But we have to have that situational awareness, and you've got to listen to your teacher or whoever the adult is around you so they can give you the instructions based on the information they're getting. Last step, fight. This is our last resort. We don't want to get to this point because we want to get safe before that. But if we have no other option, we've got to fight, and you've got to fight for your life because it is a literal life and death situation. You've got to have that survival mindset. You've got to do whatever you can to neutralize the threat. All right, so we are looking to fight. We are looking to use whatever's at our disposal here. Each one of you is sitting on a weapon. You got a chair, you can chunk at the guy. What are the kind of options you see around here that might work?
Got a fire extinguisher right there.
Fire extinguisher.
Your phones.
Phones.
I can throw my book.
You can throw your book. There you go.
Scissors.
Scissors.
Computers.
Computers. Absolutely. Anything you do to disorient, disarm, confuse, anything that gives us an opening. So our active training had 3 components to it. Number 1, run. The safest place to be is away from the threat. Get quiet, listen to the instructions from your teacher, follow their directions, move as much as you can and as fast as you can. Next is hide. Again, listen to the instructions. Use whatever is in front of you to make it hard to enter the room. Get out of sight, get quiet. Finally, fight. Adopt that survival mindset. Understand that when you commit to it, you have no going back at that point. Use whatever's at your disposal to disarm or disorient the attacker. Gang up with others and take them out. Hopefully, this kind of situation will never happen to any of us. But if it does, our best chance for survival is knowing what we're doing ahead of time, committing to it, practicing it, and being ready to act upon it when the situation occurs.